Great. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Welcome. We are just waiting a few minutes more in order to allow all the participants to join this session, and we will start in 1 or 2 minutes from now. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so I think we are good to start. I just asking my colleagues if they are ready, and we can really start and kick off this session. Normand, all good?
Yes.
On your side, Santiago?
Yeah.
Mic activated. We were born ready, you know.
All right, so let's go. So hello everyone, and a warm welcome to this inaugural Nexo Insight webinar. It is fantastic to see so many of you joining us today, both familiar faces from our membership community and those curious to learn more about Nexo standards. Over the next few minutes, we are excited to shine light on the remarkable collective achievements of the Nexo community over the past year. We have built significant momentum in our mission to simplify payment acceptance implementation globally, and I have some exciting news to share. Firstly, Nexo is expanding, both geographically and in its scope. In the last year alone, we have proudly welcomed 11 new members from regions far beyond our initial European base, including Asia, Africa, and North America. Secondly, for the first time, a central bank they decided to come closer to Nexo to include their instant payment use cases in our standardization work. Importantly, Nexo specifications are now being actively deployed across 6 continents. This truly demonstrates the market's recognition of Nexo as a proven, international, universally harmonized, and consistent way to transfer payment transaction data. While Nexo's protocol and specifications already deliver significant efficiencies, enhance customer experience, and enable innovative new services, we recognize that the payment landscape is constantly evolving. Our growing community of payments and merchant stakeholders continue to bring new market requirements to the table, and especially in response to emerging trends in payment acceptance. In this context, I'm delighted to announce the accelerated progress we have made in expanding Nexo reach. We have seen important advancements in the areas of digital currencies and instant payments in all their forms. In fact, I am pleased to inform you that we are now on track to issue our first ever specification for instant credit transfer payment acceptance at the point of interaction. That's ICT at POI in 2025. This is a significant milestone. Furthermore, we have dedicated considerable effort to facilitating the development of APIs aligned with the ISO 20022 standard. This supports of the ecosystem's increasing desire to adopt these modern integration methods. Nexo Standards is about to submit its initial business justification to the ISO 20022 API SEG, and our Nexo Retailer protocol will be the first to transition to an API. This crucial work began last year and will continue this momentum for our other protocols and the ICT at POI specification throughout the coming year. To ensure our standards truly meet market needs, we have also forget a significant collaboration with the Nordic Initiative. For those of you less familiar, the Nordic Initiative is a collaborative effort bringing together key stakeholders in the Nordic payment ecosystem. This includes banks, merchants, and other payment service providers across Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. Their mission is to create a harmonized and efficient payment acceptance landscape across the Nordic region, fostering interoperability and innovation. Their goals align perfectly with the Nexus One: to simplify payment acceptance, enhance efficiency for merchants, and improve the overall payment experience for consumers in the Nordics. By leveraging the robust foundation of our Nexo Retailer protocol, we aim to deliver standards that will specifically benefit the entire Nordic payment acceptance community, streamlining processes and reducing complexity. I sincerely hope you will find this first Nexo Insight webinar informative and inspiring as we celebrate Nexo's successes. Finally, I would like to extend an invitation to all of you, whether you are a current member or not, to consider how your organization might further collaborate with Nexo to help accelerate an important work in 2025 and beyond. Your expertise and engagement are invaluable. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of the webinar. And I'm now transition to my colleague, Jacek, who will give insights about the NIS V5 package. Maybe just before that, just a short word about the interaction with the participants. So you have a Q&R icon somewhere in the top of your screen. So by then you could ask questions, and we have two moderators today that will review the questions, and then we open the floor. Okay, so please don't be shy. Use the Q&R so to ask any questions you may have. And now, effectively, I'm transition to Jacek for the NIS package.
Hello, good afternoon. Jacek Małka. I'm Nexo Implementation Specification Working Group co-chair, and today I will present you some information about some, I hope, useful information regarding Nexo standard, regarding Nexo IS. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, Jacek, we see it. Could you put a full screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, in presentation mode, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Nexo standard is a quite, let's say, broad standard, meaning that...
Jacek?
Yes?
Sorry to interrupt. Can you put your screen in full screen, in the in presentation mode? Because we see here the slides on the left
Okay.
side.
Friends, because but I put it as a presentation mode, but
Oh, maybe the shared is on the other screen, maybe.
yes, I will try again.
For
Now
the
it's
for the
better?
ones that they are now it's much better. For the ones that they are joining us
Okay.
today, just a note, in case someone is wondering, we are now in the first quarter of the full webinar because the total length will be 1 hour. Okay, so it's not 2 hours, it's 1 hour today. So here we go. We see your screen, full screen. Perfect,
Good.
Jacek.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So the scope of Nexo standard is quite broad because Nexo specifies or defines some protocols, provides a specification for Nexo application itself, for a set of protocols like protocol to acquire host, protocol to which allows to remotely manage the payment application using terminal management system, also provide some, let's say, details regarding how to integrate payment application to some external sales system using Nexo Retailer. And Nexo implementation specification itself is a main goal of this part of Nexo is to basically make that all of this part of Nexo standard will work together. Nexo AS provides interoperability between all of this part of the whole standard. And it is a very important feature of the Nexo specification because it means that we can, in a Nexo ecosystem, we can use, for example, different payment applications run on different hardware, but still all of these different payment application will connect to the same host, acquirer host, using Nexo protocol, will be managed using the same terminal management system, and for example can be also those payment applications can be integrated with different sales system, ECR systems, vendors using other Nexo protocols, called Nexo Retailer. So it is a very important feature of the whole Nexo standard. And a short explanation of the scope of Nexo. Of course, Nexo provides specification of payment application. It is called Nexo Fast application, where details of transaction processing, details of handling card communication, many different areas of payments application are specified, precisely described. For example, there is very detailed definition of the flow, how to process particular transaction types. So it's a very important part of the standard. Another area is to how exchange messages from payment application to acquirer host using host acquirer protocol. Or definition of interaction with external world from payment application point of view, which is called SCAP, sale, cardholder, and attended protocol. For example, as a part of this area, we can define integration with sales system, with ECR, or applications which can be run on the same device and exchange messages with payment application, triggering transactions. Another area is terminal management system, which allows to, of course, in a standard way, allows to manage remotely configuration of such device or population of terminals, which works in many areas, on many merchant locations, or even many countries. So that's the scope of nexo standard. Also, which is not described or put to this diagram, a very important part is, of course, security. So nexo is also standardized how to process payment transactions, how to process sensitive data in a secure way, using defined protocols, using defined keys, and so on and so on. Okay, so in next slides, I will present you some more specific areas of nexo implementation specification package. So first topic is what kind of card services or transaction types are supported by supported or described in nexo. So of course there are some let's say obvious transaction types like sale, cancellation, refund, but also there is a lot of quite a long list of some specific transaction types like pre-authorization, cashback, voice authorization, and so on. And of course, it is not mandatory to implement all of them, but depending on the project, depending on the market, on the customer needs, we can choose what kind of features will be implemented by our solution. And of course, nexo allows us to dynamically configure switching on, switching off some features of the solution. And here I'd like to mention, here is another, let's say, continuation of this list of optional card services, but I'd like to mention about quite interesting and I would say useful feature of nexo standard. So nexo messages are based on ISO standard, and in this in definition of particular messages, there are some fields which are mandatory, fields which are optional, and using nexo standard, we can somehow extend standard messages, for example, standard sale transaction, to add some specific fields because of some specific needs on in current in some market, in some country, or fields which are important for our customers. Very simple, I think a clear example is to add to the sale transaction as a kind of additional field invoice number. For some customer, it is very important feature which could be in quite easy way implemented using nexo standard, using some optional fields of the messages. Nexo defines different set of acceptance technologies, starting from, let's say, standard retail configuration, where there is a support for contact and contactless chip, magstripe, manual entry, or we can also define some let's say more specific environments, I would say, for example, dedicated for unattended solution, where there will be support only for contactless transaction, or no support for magstripe, for manual entry, just handling contact and contactless EMV. So all of these configurations are supported or a part of nexo standard configuration. And of course, as a consequence, we can provide a solution, payment solution for attended or unattended environment, depending on let's implementing some specific features or proper configuration of the solution. Here is, I think, quite let's say standard list of CVMs, starting from online PIN, but also we can use offline PINs. For some projects, we can support, if it is necessary for some customer or project, we can support no CVM, cardholder verification method, signature, or quite important nowadays, consumer device CVM. I think full scope of card authentication methods, static, dynamic, and combined data authentication are supported by Nexo. And here is a list of kernels which is mentioned or supported by Nexo. And of course, contact EMV kernels are quite standard and old, but also there is a support for a list of contactless kernels. And here is also worth to mention about incorporating into Nexo standard some features which are specific for markets in Germany or in French. It is especially important for those who would like to operate or implement payment solutions in these countries, because based on Nexo application, on Nexo standard, if application is certified according to Nexo, it means also that official certification process for German market or French market is significantly simpler. It is important benefit using Nexo. As I mentioned, Nexo, as a part of Nexo standard, there are some features specific for those market specified. Example for Giro card is chip fallback in case of emergency functionality. Okay, here we've got a list of supported modes, or acquired protocol modes, when we can, in some, depending on the environment or host, for example, we can Nexo can support mode when for online transactions authorization is there should be two messages. First, online authorization message, and then just after this online authorization, there should be advice message sent to the host to capture such transaction. It's the mode 1. In mode 3, we've got only one message, one authorization is needed to capture online transactions. Advices are supported to handle offline transactions. And we've got mode 2, which is dedicated to the solutions when there is online authorization for online transaction, one message, and then at the end of the day, for example, application prepares a batch file which is transferred to the host, and in this operation, sending batch means capture of this group of transactions. As I mentioned before, Nexo standards also specify some areas related to security. For example, algorithms which are supported by Nexo. And what is important from let's say I would say pragmatic point of view is the fact that Nexo defines different keys for different operations, And I would say quite standard approach is to define 3 keys. One for PIN encryption, PIN block encryption. Second key is to encrypt card sensitive data, and third is to calculate MAC of the message. Of course, there could be some combinations or variations of these keys, but in general, as a part of standard, those keys are defined. In previous slides, I presented you some nexo IS specific areas, features. And now in my last part of this presentation, there are a few slides of test solution, because as you can imagine, nexo as a standard is quite complex. It contains specification for different areas in payment solution. And also nexo defines quite complex test plan. Test plan meaning that there is a list of predefined test cases which basically precisely defines conditions, test results, expected results, and so on, to help vendors to be sure that the solution, no matter if we are talking about terminal side payment application or maybe acquirer host, if the solution is compliant with nexo. And such tool is very helpful. I'm talking from practical point of view, because we implemented different payment applications according to nexo, attended, unattended, and definitely such tools helps a lot to implement in a correct way nexo standard, because we've got a simple solution which allows us to check case by case, features by features, if application behaves according to nexo rules or not. Very clear, very clear validation. And here in nexo 5 version, we've got a test tool based on this approach based on machine readable test plan, meaning that there is there was a defined language, script language, I would say, which allows us to define some steps for every test case. Some steps meaning that there is possibility to for every test case to define what card image will be used, what will be the let's say full configuration of payment application, what will be the flow of this test case, what are the test conditions, what kind of validations will be done at particular steps of doing these tests. So we can quite in a complete way define all conditions for particular test case, and we can do it for every test case from nexo test plan, and as a result we will have a tool which in a great way support validation of nexo solution. For nexo 5, the tool contains some physical element, card probe, which is an interface to card read or to load to the card images. And there is also a web-based service where there is a logic of all test cases included or implemented. And as a test tool user, we can let's say, connect our solution payment application and we can perform all test cases validating our solution. And as you can see, that there are more than 1,300 test cases in test plan for nexo 5. What is very important from practical point of view, the whole test plan is split to different sections or different groups, which it is useful because when you maintain payment application and do some changes in one specific area, it could be, for example, related to some details for details related to handling, I don't know, Amex, for example, cards, then we can, let's say, repeat again test cases related only to Amex. Or when we change something in, for example, exchange authorization messages with host, we can do the same, choosing proper group of test cases. And here we've got some examples of groups of test cases, application profile selection, messages, exchange messages, which is very important, some positive scenarios, but also some negative scenario, handling errors, which is, we know that it could be quite challenging. Test cases dedicated for particular services of the solution. Test cases related to kernels, configuration, reconciliation, and batch capture. Of course, all of these cases are, let's say, dedicated, depending on payment application configuration. Some groups are available for testing, some not, because, for example, if the application is not using batch, of course, then there is no sense to use it, to test it. Thank you for your attention, and in case of any questions, please feel free to ask this question or contact me just after the presentation.
Thank you, Jacek, for your very detailed presentation. So my name is Normand Provost. I'm the PMO at Nexo Standard, and I'll be the one following and presenting, hopefully, some insights on new development currently happening within the association. So thanks everyone for attending today's session. As said previously by Jacques and Jacek, if you have questions, you could put them in our Q&A. We'll try to do our best to answer them. So today I'm really excited to introduce a significant step forward for Nexo Standard, which is our strategic adoption of API and JSON to further empower interoperability within the payment ecosystem. Sorry. Yeah. So as you know, the world of payment is constantly evolving and demanding more seamless connection between the payment systems and between all systems. So Nexo Standard is committed to staying at the forefront, and that's why we are strategically embracing modern approach to interoperability, guided by the industry standard like ISO 20022. Our core strategy involved a focus approach where for our new application program interface, or APIs, we'll be utilizing the JSON data format. Importantly, though, our established message exchange system, which many of you are already familiar with, will continue to operate using the XML messages. So all this direction will inform the evolution of Nexo implementation. We want to make sure also, and we do understand the importance of continuity. So that's why when we use JSON and are proposing to use JSON, we will be employing the same abbreviated naming convention many of you are already accustomed to use in our XML structure. So there will be similarity between the JSON and the APIs, as well as the XML structure. This deliberate choice will ease the transition and reduce the learning curve, we hope. Additionally, converting between XML and JSON would be simplified, giving you a great flexibility. As said, we want to ensure clarity and prevent fragmentation. So that's why we're introducing a standardized way of defining API access point, which we will call automatic resources. These are mandatory API endpoints that will be automatically identified based on our current protocol specifications. So this means that any Nexo compliant solution will offer a consistent set of core resources, guaranteeing a predictable and compatible experience for everyone. We also want to beyond empowering innovation. So beyond these fundamental automatic resources, our working groups will also have the ability of defining sub-resources. So you need to think of these as intelligent shortcuts. So direct access point to specific, frequently needed pieces of data with larger resources. So providing more flexibility. This allows for more efficient API calls, retrieving only the information you need. These sub-resources will be carefully considered and defined by our working groups to ensure they provide real value. So again, providing more flexibility. So what is the path forward? So in conclusion, Nexo standard strategic adoption of the API and JSON coupled with our clear framework for resource definition represent an exciting step forward, a more interconnected and efficient payment ecosystem. We believe this will simplify integration for everyone, foster greater innovation, and ultimately benefit the entire Nexo community. So we do encourage you to embrace this evolution with us, and I want to thank you for your time. As said, feel free to reach us and ask questions if you have. And I will now pass the mic and presentation to my colleague Santiago.
Thank you, Norman. Very clear. So let me know if you see my screen now. Should be okay.
We see your
Is that good?
presentation, yes.
So again, good afternoon, everyone. We are excited to welcome everyone today on this first one of this series of Nexo Insights webinar. And I would like to have one hello to our valued members and a special greeting to those joining us to discover more about Nexo standards. I'm Santiago Cabeza, and I run business development at Nexo Standards. Let's go. Over the next few minutes, 15 minutes or so, we are excited to share the great achievements in the new markets of the Nexo community over the past year. We have built a significant momentum in our mission to simplify payment acceptance implementation globally. So, firstly, Nexo is expanding both geographically and its scope. In the last year alone, we welcome 11 new members, as said by Jack, from regions far beyond our initial European base, including Asia, Africa, and North America. And secondly, Central Bank decided to come closer to Nexo to include their instant payment use cases in our standardization work. And what is more important is that Nexo specifications are now being actively deployed. Okay, this truly demonstrates the market recognition of Nexo as a proven, global, universal, harmonized, and consistent way to transfer payment transaction data. Okay. At Nexo, we have a simple mission to make payments easy, fast, and smooth for everyone involved, including stores, banks, payment companies, tech providers. So we are proud to have this today 106 members from all over the world, working together every single day to make payment acceptance simple and more reliable. And today I will give you insights, and that's the title of the webinar, on new markets by sharing some engaging stories about retailers. And you will ask, why start with retailers? It's because every change in payments is felt first at the till. If a customer experience is wrong or a payment fails, the merchants lose a sale in seconds. So while Nexo serves the whole value chain, the first and biggest winners are merchants. So I will show why merchants in the Nordic region or in Africa and in North America are choosing Nexo. And I will walk through the pain they face, the partners helping to solve it, and I will talk about a proof of concept that shows the future in action. This is the first Nexo Insights webinar, so I will move quickly and use clear examples. By the end, you will know how Nexo, alleviates the pain points and simplifies your life. So before we dive into the numbers, imagine, it's a busy Friday evening at your local supermarket. Shoppers rush in, eager to finish their errands, and the checkout lines get longer, and suddenly one of the payment terminals stops working. Customers begin to feel frustrated, lines grow, and the store manager tries desperately to fix the issue. In those crucial moments, every second counts. Small technical glitches can lead to lost sales, unhappy customers, and reputation damage. These scenes happen regularly in retail. We talk with merchants every day, and they tell us about three major pain points. First, the payment systems are often very complicated. Stores today manage countless different payments methods with unique setups, certifications, maintenance schedules. Imagine trying to speak 11 languages at once. It's complicated, it's stressful, and is inefficient. Second, they struggle to provide a consistent, smooth customer experience. Shoppers now expect the same easy checkout whether they are online or in-store. Delays or glitches during checkout push customers away, sometimes forever. And third, merchants face rising costs every time they need to add a new payment method or just update their systems. Certification, testing, and maintenance fees add quickly and impact their budgets. So let me share a powerful example from a supermarket chain called Rema 1000 in Norway. They are leaders with over 800 stores handling about 2 million transactions every single day, and they face these three challenges. Initially, Rema 1000 had many different proprietary payment message systems. Maintaining this complexity was very expensive for them. But when Rema 1000 fully adopted Nexo standards, supported by MarketPay, another member of Nexo, they simplify from those payment systems down to just using our protocols and the Nexo Fast application. This reduced their system complexity by 80%. They implemented these simplified solutions across 2,500 terminals in just 6 months. 3 months faster than planned. So saving a lot of time, resources, and money. So today, they process in excess of 200 million transactions per year, and they show how you can adapt this openness standard and simplify the operations. Okay, so this story illustrates why Nexus standards matter, making payments easier and life simpler for retailers everywhere. So the real lasting change in the payments world doesn't happen alone. It takes strong partnerships. At Nexo, we seek partnerships that amplify our impact. Let me share some exciting collaboration we have built recently. In February of this year, a couple of guys from Nexo attended the Identity and Payment Summit together with the US Payment Forum in San Diego. This event brought industry leaders who share the latest trends and innovation, and at the forum, Nexo played a significant role as both an exhibitor and a keynote speaker. Another example, last summer, we hosted another webinar specifically designed for the merchant advisory group in the US. In there, major American retailers were impressed with our clear, simple, and open standard approach to payments. Their positive feedback confirmed that we were on the right track. Now we are working closely with these global merchants, and we would like to give them a direct voice in developing future standards. This is very important. We need to make sure that real merchant needs directly shape our solutions. So let me tell you about the Nordic initiative, the logo that you are seeing over there. It's a great example on how we work with regional leaders to make payment more efficient. The Nordic countries are known for being at the forefront of digital payments, and Nexo is partnering with local retailers and PSPs to develop standardized solutions that works across all the Nordic countries. This is key because each country has its own payment practice, but merchants need consistency. So our collaboration helps make payments smooth and easy, no matter where in the region the customer shops. So we are about to sign a letter of intent with the Nordic Initiative and have created the Merchant Advisory Committee, MAC for short, within Nexo. This group makes sure that real-world merchant needs are heard and considered. Their input will directly shape the next set of standards, helping us to create these protocols and specification that answers real-world needs. And as Jack mentioned, we are proud to get our first counselor ever. Is a key player in Africa, is the central bank of six countries, all located in the Central Africa region, and the name is the BEAC, as you learned. So strong partnerships mean useful change happens faster. And now that we are seeing how partnerships drive progress, let's talk about another crucial element, investing in future talent. Innovation thrives, when we connect with young people and academic institutions. Let me highlight a couple of significant collaborations we have built. Professor Michal Polasik from the Nicholas Copernicus University in Torun in Poland presented a great research at our 2024 annual conference in Helsinki, and his study revealed that NFC mobile payments are faster than cash. So they take 17 seconds on average versus 48 seconds. So it improves the checkout experience. He also emphasized that global digital payments are growing quickly with fast adoption rates in Africa. Look at these numbers. A 15 yearly rise in global non-cash payments worldwide, and over 20% annual rate growth in Africa. Clearly, standardizing these fast-growing payment methods is essential. Last month, we welcomed the French University NCCAN as new Nexo member. It's one of the France's leading universities specializing in payments technology. Their students now study Nexo standards, gaining first-hand expertise that perfectly match industry requirements. Nexo members have the advantage of hosting these skilled students for internships or benefiting from their fresh ideas and newly acquired technical skills. So this creates a valuable pipeline of new talent, ensuring that our members stay competitive. Connecting with university and young talent help us to prepare for the future. But to make our standards relevant worldwide, we also need strong local advocates. This is where our ambassador program comes in. We understand the importance of local knowledge and strong community engagement. That's why This year, we launched the Nexo Ambassador Program. Our ambassadors, we have two. They are respected payment professionals in Africa and Europe region. They have deep local insights and personal relationships within their communities. They host events, workshops, webinars like this one, and personal meetings. These efforts are tailored for local business, banks, clearly explaining how Nexus standards directly address their unique payment challenge. Since the program's launch, Ambassador has attracted new members, presented in 2 events, organized 1 webinar dedicated to Nexus standards, and these achievements illustrated how effective local advocacy can expand our community and amplify our impact. Having strong local advocates is essential to spreading our standards worldwide, but showing how they work in real life is even more powerful. That's why we focus on real-world projects that demonstrate the value of Nexo standards. That's why we are planning a proof of concept in Africa that showcase how the latest version of our standard, so it's Nexo Retailer version 10, that is based on ISO 20022, can work in real work conditions. This proof of concept will focus on creating a complete end-to-end payment flow, allowing customers to make instant payments directly at the point of sale. The goal is to prove that our standards can seamlessly integrate into everyday retail environments, especially in a region, Africa, where digital payments are evolving rapidly. It's not about just testing technology, it's about proving that Nexo standards can work efficiently in a real retail setting. We will document every step, we will prepare a report, we will include the technical details, the cost benefits, and the feedback from the managers, store managers, and customers. And these real-world insights will help other retailers to adopt with confidence Nexo standards. So if that inspires you, and I need to end, here's how you can join the journey. Please get in touch with us. Our team is ready to provide further information or send you the REMA 1000 I was speaking about use case, do a demonstrations, or help you assist in becoming an Nexo member. And you can join this fantastic community of 106 companies already collaborating to simplify global payments. So next, I don't know, maybe Jack, we are a little bit short on time, but Jack and Norman will share exciting updates about the ongoing conversations with central banks and the developments in the central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. So stay with us and thank you very much. I look forward to your questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Santiago, for this great presentation. Yes, I think we have. I'm cautious of the time, and it's just remaining 6 minutes. So we could possibly let's say have a very short talk about what is ongoing, what are the steps that we're thinking, and I will basically just share a few words about central banks. That is really important for us. It was already mentioned that we have a first ever central bank joining Nexo, but we are also in connection with some of the biggest in Europe, and regarding the CDBCs and digital euro, etc. So we are deeply discussing with them at the moment. We don't know how it will be, let's say, the end, but we can share with you that we are in contact with these central banks, and it's really important for us to follow this trend because it will structure, of course, our work for the next years. Maybe, Normand, if you can jump in the strategic roadmap for a few words for 2025 to 2027 roadmap.
Yeah, thank you, Jacques. So yes, we're with the helps of our technical steering committees and the working groups, the strategy working group as well, we're defining as we speak our roadmap for the next 3 years. Hopefully, some of that information would be shared next week at the General Assembly for those that might attend. What we could say in a short notice is, or with some few words, is that, as said earlier, so we're evolving to work on APIs. We're working with central banks and looking at CDBCs, and because we believe the infrastructure we are providing could support. As said earlier today, we're about to launch the first specification, so nexo instant payment specifications for acceptance of instant payment at the point of interaction, and adding new feature and functionality in line with the needs of our market. So hopefully working with the Nordic initiatives will help us enhance what they might be needing or what the retailer would be needing. Everything would be potentially based on APIs and then JSON, so simplifying implementation. A lot of focus will be put also on supporting implementation. To that end, we're working on reviewing and reshaping or revamping the Nexo website, where you would find all the documentations. Hopefully this will be done this year or soon in 2026. So a lot going on, and please, as members or participants of the ecosystems, your input is really important and needed, and we hope to see you all either at the General Assembly this year, annual conference, to exchange with you and collaborate on that part.
Thank you, Normand. I think maybe also some, let's say, points that could be interesting also for the audience is regarding the next NIS package and the future developments.
Yeah, so as we did present today, the NIS v5 package, so hopefully test tool and everything will be available this year. We're currently working on defining what our next package would be, which would also be aligned with willingness for Nexo to, as said earlier, on the support to implementation approach. So we're looking at how could we increase some of the testing capabilities, adding potentially some protocol test cases and test plan to validate, integrating as well new protocol testing capacity as we will evolve. We're discussing how Nexo could better support self-assessment ability by defining either a framework or a validation framework, or providing potentially homologation. So those are topics that for sure needs to be discussed and approved by our board of directors, but they're involved, aware of, and that should be also part of the next Nexo implementation specification package, providing all those new, hopefully, function, service, and features.
Thank you, Normand, for this short, extremely short, and we could have spent a lot of time here, but I'm cautious of the time. Just a short conclusion here to say, let's say, thank you very much for the person who prepared this webinar, for the participants, Jacek, Santiago. Thanks for your work. I'm now opening maybe the floor. We still have a few minutes, but if some of the participants have any questions, please use the question and answer tab on the top of your toolbar in the Teams, where you can set any questions you may have, or just react by raising your hand. We could also take and give you the floor if you have any questions. I see a question from François. Thank you, François, for this question. So for who does not know François yet, François is a very active member of Nexo, working at Total Energies and chairman of the General Assembly, actually, also in charge of the strategic working group as a co-chair. And lastly, board director. So a lot of plenty of functions inside Nexo. But the question was, when the next Nexo Insights webinar? So it's not yet planned. I think this was the first attempt, I would say. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will very, very welcome your feedback after all. And but ideally, we will try to have it fourth a year. So every quarter, we will try to set a new session. Maybe also opening here if you have any questions, anything that you could consider important for us to address during a session, please let us know. We are quite open. We can manage the agenda. We can set a slot for any specific topic which have interest for you. But as you could so we have a lot of activities for the moment and currently, and we hope that we will give you also very good news very, very shortly with very big names that are also looking at Nexo. I stop here. Please, any questions you may have?
Yeah, there is two questions in the order of being asked. The one is, does Nexo have a strategy on API where acceptation? Who want to tackle this one?
I could, yeah, maybe I could. So I did put and thanks for Gilles and Guillaume for asking the questions. So as you know, as we said, so are currently working on instant payment at the POI. So that's our main focus. We've been in contact with API Wero executive teams. They are aware of what we're doing. We're also linking with the APSG, Europa, other initiatives, informing all of them of what Nexo is working on. As we're developing standard, our goal would be to make sure that not only from a European point of view, but from an international point of view, we'll be able to integrate any requirements those schemes would have, and would be more than pleased to have further discussion with API executives on that end once our specs will be published or before.
Our doors are open,
Yes.
I would say. Instant payments they are a full priority for Nexo this year, and has been clearly defined as a priority. They have the ambition to become global, at least European. I mean cross border, as we used to say. So I think that we are made for each other. So at some point we will converge. At some point we will converge, one way or another. I'm fully convinced about that. And we share the same shareholders. I mean, Nexo members, principal Nexo members, they are main shareholders of API. So all the conditions are together to collaborate.
Yes.
Okay, I hope we reply to your question, Guillaume. Maybe jumping to the other one that I see here. How is the NexoFast approval process? Jacek, do you want to cover that? Can you explain, because you are used to do that for many years now?
Okay, sure. So, well, first of all, you should have the application prepared, and my experience is, as I mentioned in presentation, tools are a very good way to be sure that application fulfill all requirements, and I think there is a well-described process of formal certification of Nexo payment application, Nexo fast payment application. Shortly, in a short way, there is a document which specifies the configuration of the application, which features
Oh.
I think
We
we're
lose you
losing.
in a critical moment.
Okay, so I think you will need to reconnect maybe at some point. So, Jacek, are you
Jacek,
back?
you are back. You are back. You cut for 15
Okay,
seconds or so.
sorry, something wrong with connection. Apologize for it. So, in a very short way, maybe first information, it is well described. There is a document which precisely describes this process. However, first step is to ICS document, fulfill ICS document which precisely define the features of the application, which are supported, which are not supported, and based on this document, you can let's say formally apply for a certification process, meaning that this application is let's say tested by the laboratory using this ICS lab, doing full scope of tests using the tool. So, as I mentioned, I'm not sure if you heard, but a very important step is to, of course, test your application using a test tool to be sure that using ICS, ICS meaning the scope of supported features, your application will pass all required test cases. So.
Yeah.
ICS testing by the lab, and then after testing by the lab, there is some official report which is at the end, I would say confirmed by official certification body.
Yes, I think maybe important to notice is that the test tool, the test scripts, all of that is exactly the same used in the lab as in let's say the quality and assurance team inside the implementer. So if you have done exactly and properly your work at home, there shouldn't be any surprise when you go for a real approval certification.
I fully confirm, because it is very important, let's say, aspect of the certification, and fully confirm from practical point of view. If your application will pass all needed test cases, result should be exact the same during the official certification by laboratory.
Thank you, Jacek. I don't know. Do we still have a little bit time? There is again one question here. What about alternatives of Wero? Don't know who will take this answer, but then I think we are having maybe Santiago.
I mean, in a very, very short, because we are over time, and we need to respect people, and I see people deconnecting. So, NEHE has been and will be agnostic. I mean, we are a global organization, and we cannot have the privilege of supporting one scheme, in top of another one. So we are agnostic, and the reality is that the things in nexo progress faster when they are collaborating with us. So when the entities, organizations, any player on the ecosystems comes, express their needs, they have a best chance of having this converted as a standard. So this is what I will say, but we don't have any specific preference. We need to serve the market, to follow the trends, to deliver the standards for the benefit of everyone. So,
okay. Thank you, Santiago. So I think we will stop here for today. Thank you again for being with us, and we will let you know when will be the next session. And of course, you can reach out to us if you still have any point to discuss. So thank you very much.
Thanks,
And we will
everyone.
close the session for today.
yeah.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.